I would argue that the worldwide download celebration is probably the biggest celebration of the year, simply because both Global and JP are celebrating it together. We both don't know what's actually arriving. So I think it just makes it for more of a hype overall celebration and a more grandiose celebration rather than the anniversary, because it's split on both versions. One version waits, one doesn't. Even though the anniversary tends to release the better characters at the moment, worldwide definitely comes through, and I'm going to show you this. Worldwide always releases characters that you can argue are in number one. And before anything, thank you again for 64.2k subscribers. I'm going to tell you this right now because I am a little salty. If you pulled UI Goku off a single on either Global or JP, you got caught lacking today. I'm a little salty, man. It is what it is. You got caught lacking. Drop down. Give me 3 push-ups. And you got to subscribe since you got caught lacking. It is what it is. Pulling him off a single is insane when other people are getting shafted, man. That's just insane. That's just insane. Congratulations, though, but that's insane. Now, if you have not pulled UI Goku off a single, join the rest of us who don't really have luck like that. And since again you didn't pull them, don't worry about subscribing or liking the video. Just enjoy the rest of the content moving forward. So one thing I want to show you here is last year during the worldwide celebration, a lot of people considered either Tegzamasu or Future Gohan to be number one in the game. Now, again, I'm not sitting here to substantiate these claims. I'm not here to argue that. I'm just telling you. Now my voice is cracked. I guess I'm still growing up, man. But people made this claim that Future Gohan or Tegzamasu could be number one in the game. There was arguments, there was sentiments around that. For worldwide to drop characters this year to be considered number one with these two in the game, you have to how insane this banner has to be. But then let's take a look at the year before that, right? Carnival Goku or STR Cooler. People consider these two very easily to be either one or one in the game, right behind these 7th year LRs. Again, I'm not here to substantiate those types of claims. The point I'm trying to make is that people made these claims and there were valid arguments for that. Moving on to the year before that, we had Namek Goku and Full Power Frieza. These two were definitely better than 6th year Evolution Blue Vegeta. That guy was garbage on release. I don't care what anyone says. So these two releasing just a month after, definitely better than one of the anniversary LRs. Whether you'd make the case for Goku, again, I believe that case was made. It's been so long, I don't really remember all of the arguments, but people made that claim. And then again, you can look at the year before that when the 5th years dropped. When the 5th years dropped, right? They took so long to build up that these two here, I would consider easily just better characters overall. Yes, I think Vegito and Gogeta had higher ceilings, but it just took so long to get those characters built up, where these guys, it didn't take half as long. So a lot of people consider these guys the best characters in the game. I say all of that to say that this worldwide celebration most likely is going to include characters that we can argue are going to be number one. So then the question becomes, what in the world is going to release? And this is where I'm not only going to show you what I want to see, and you can even see GT right there, right? You can even see. I'm going to go with, for this specific video, because again, I want to make multiple videos like this, but the first topic or saga that I want to cover is GT. And I think they could cook up some pretty good stuff for GT. I'd love for you to let me know what you think about what I cooked up here, what you would change, what you would add, what you would do differently. But on top of that, let me know what you want to see for the worldwide download celebration. When it comes to GT, there is a lot that can be done. There are some glaring, obvious, missing, in action characters that we could have in the LR slots and so on and so forth. But let me show you what I wanted to do. Now, there's two options. Now, this really comes down to what you prefer. One could be part one, one could be part two, or however you really want it to be. I didn't really go too deep into it, but I just wanted to show you what I'm thinking of when it comes to if worldwide ends up being GT related. So the first option we really have here is to have the GT stuff be related to Goku and Baby, okay? Now, this looks like a lot of transformations here. It's really not. It's just going to be a Super Saiyan 3 Goku when he dies, or whatever condition is fulfilled, because I know a lot of people aren't a fan of having to wait until a character dies. Whatever the case is, again, I'm not here to talk about specifics, just concept here. Whenever it activates, Goku here, after getting beaten up by Baby, goes into Golden Great Ape. I can imagine the Golden Great Ape form working something like... Let me just go ahead and delete this while we're here. I didn't mean to do that, but it is what it is. Hold on. There we go. Imagine this working something like Golden Piccolo. Or, sorry, Orange Piccolo. Not Golden Piccolo. Orange Piccolo. Where you get 2 to 3 turns of invincibility while doing a lot of damage. And then, boom, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who could easily be the strongest character in the game. This string of transformation stuff we just don't have. We just don't have in the game, and we need that. And then we have Baby. Now, Baby would work as a Dokkan Fest simply because we don't have a Dokkan Fest Baby in the game. Look at this. All the babies we have are banner units or like nuking characters. We have an LR Yellow Coin Baby, but we don't have a Dokkan Festival Baby. And because it's going to be an LR, I would like for this character personally to start off as Super Baby 1. And then you can transform or whatever into Super Baby 2. I forgot to add it, but you could also have a Golden Great Ape transformation or something along those lines here if you really wanted to. But this also leaves the, it just leaves the option or room in the future for a standalone TUR Dokkan Fest Baby or something along those lines, right? But I do think this form of, dude, I'm not going to lie, maybe you guys disagree, but Super Baby 1 is the coolest looking baby form out of all of them. I would love for this character to actually get some love, because if you look here, the only Super Baby 1 we have is literally a free-to-play character. That is insane. Actually, no, this is... Okay, it's Super Baby... Yeah, this is the TUR of the LR. This is a free character right here. That's insane to me. That is insane to me, okay? So we definitely need some representation for him. And banner units could be Oob and Oob fought Baby. Or for one, let's say this is the banner unit for Goku, and then the banner unit for Vegeta or Baby Vegeta could be possessed Bulma. Bulma can, you know, have a crazy support for Current Body and Mind, or however you really want to go about, you know, doing that. So that is my first idea. Again, this could be part 1 for you. This could be part 2. This seems more to me like part 2, simply because what's on this side here. But again, you really can't go wrong with this being part 1. I think it would be hype. Would it be hype enough? I don't know. But again, you can let me know what you think. And on the other side of things, we could finally have our first ever standalone LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Yes, the Int one does exist. But I'm talking about an LR. And sorry, the Tech one does exist as well. But an LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta standalone does not exist in the game. Similar to, for some reason, Blue standalone Gogeta not existing in the game as well. I don't understand why. But this is time. Alright? Legends also released Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Remember that Legends and Dokkan, sometimes they be synced up with certain celebrations and certain releases. Like, sometimes when Dokkan gets something, Legends will get it in a few months. And vice versa. Whenever Legends get something or they focus on something, Dokkan tends to get similar stuff within the next coming months or beforehand, whatever the case is. So I do believe Worldwide could be GT, and if it is, this being part 1 would be crazy. And then this here would be part 2, and then Goku can literally give GT heroes 200%, and then Baby could give GT bosses 200%, right? That could be the leader skill. And then Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, of course, here. And then here we have the transforming Sin to Omega. The only reason why I did this is because we have this, right? We have the LR Omega Shenron, the Carnival LR Omega Shenron. And I want, out of this celebration, to not only have a really good Omega, like top 3 Omega in the game, but I want this guy to get a little better. I'm not talking about an EZA, but I'm talking about something in someone's kit somewhere that's going to give this guy, like, damage reduction, give him, like, extra chance to perform a super attack, give him some defense, some attack, just make him look a lot better and more viable, right? So again, I don't know how that's going to work, but Sin to Omega would be really good because you can link up with this guy here, and then I can imagine this guy supporting or whatever, making this guy look just a lot better because he wasn't, he was good on release, but not, yeah, you know, I think you understand what I'm saying. So this is again what I consider to be the entirety of the celebration here. You can, and again, I would probably still have Uba as the banner unit. And even though Bulma isn't from the fight, I mean, I guess you can have like Haze Shenron, right? Or you can have something wicked there, whatever you want. But I like the idea of a Bulma banner unit who supports Corroded Body and Mind, especially if Baby is going to be or have any representation in the celebration whatsoever. So yeah, this could be part 1 here, or this could be part 2. My only issue with this being part 2 is A, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta doesn't get a Dokkan Fest LR. And then part 2, remember, usually has Carnival LRs. Like last year, both of the part 2 were Carnival Future Gohan and Sword of Hope Trunks. I don't want this guy to get another Carnival LR. I just don't want that to be the case. So I feel like this should low-key be part 1. But if this is part 1, then part 2, we still have the same issue of Baby, you know, not getting a Dokkan Fest in the game. So, which I guess isn't really as big of a deal. Because again, this Carnival Omega already exists in the game, so getting another Carnival Omega in some way, shape, or form doesn't really fit the bill. I guess with this guy being Super Baby 1 and all, we can still get a Dokkan Fest Super Baby 2, and then maybe another Dokkan Fest Giant Form Super Baby 2. So there's things that we can do with Baby, but let's not give Sid another Carnival LR, please. Okay. So again, that's just my ideas. Let me know what you think. Now, in terms of EZAs, in terms of buffs for the categories, this is basically how I see it going. Again, this is just the goal is just to buff the entirety of GT. So part 1 EZAs, I would love the main Dokkan Fest EZAs to be this Goku and this Vegeta. These guys, I think, would make the GT Heroes category great again. No pun intended. I mean, these guys literally on release were very, very, very strong, and I think they only really need just a few tweaks to their kit to genuinely be considered like very, very, very strong characters. So I would be really excited to see these 2 EZAs specifically, and then I would love to see a sub EZA event that EZA's 5 characters. 1 would be, or 2 would be the banner units for those guys, which of course would be very, very exciting. Then we also have Sin Shenron. I know he's 2022. I know. I get it. But hear me out, right? This guy dropped alongside the banner, I believe it was for the LR Super Saiyan 4 7th year anniversary, right? So hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. Since that Super Saiyan 4 Goku is going to get an EZA during the 10th anniversary, why not EZA this guy just right now? Who cares, bro? Who cares? This would greatly buff not only Shadow Dragon Saga, but GT bosses. And GT bosses is gonna need a little bit of help in the celebration. So again, we got these 2 go tier, then we got these 2. Then we have Sen Shenron here getting an EZA, which of course the name would be a little bit of an issue with the new unit, but I think you can still make it work. And then we also have this GT Trunks, and then this Trunks here. So 5 characters there getting an EZA. And I'm telling you right now, man, so many characters in the GT bosses or whatever. Anyone that has a GT link here, there's a lot of characters who really need buffs and EZAs, which is why I settled with not only 2 Dokkan Fest EZAs, but a 5 character sub EZA event. And I'd rather have this than having to grind a specific EZA 50 million times to get these characters done. But I think these guys could really, introduce some nice options, if you will, for GT Heroes or whatever other category you want to run. That's part 1. Part 2 EZAs, I would love to see a Super EZA for this Omega Shenron. I'm telling you right now, Super EZAs have been looking very, very, very good. And this guy already has a pretty good, I'm not going to say base kit, because his EZA absolutely sucks. They added literally nothing. It seems like his EZA got shorter in terms of passive length. But regardless, I'm obviously being dramatic, but I think this guy could really, really cook. And if the new unit is a Sin to Omega, the name clashing really won't be an issue here. So I'm really interested to see in him being a full power. He could be a full power and GT bosses support, a full power and Battle of Fate support, a full power and Shadow Dragon Saga. He can literally, they can do whatever they want. They tend to make essays for Super EZA, so I'm excited to see what they could possibly do for him. And then we have another sub EZA event that introduces 5 new EZAs. One being this Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and of course by extension, this nuking Super Baby 2 Vegeta, finally. Then we have an EZA for Metal Rildo. We have an EZA for this Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And then we have an EZA for this Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. So, at least we're getting some more GT bosses love, right? We have the Dokkan Baby. We have the Sin 2 Omega. We have the EZA for this unit. We have the EZA for this unit. And in part 1, we have the EZA for this guy right here. And by the way, if you think there's so many super class EZAs compared to extreme class, if you just look at the category, man, or look at there's so many more super class characters than extreme class. So I'm trying, all right, I'm trying. Anyway, so that's what I would consider good for part 2 EZAs for a celebration like this. Again, introducing a lot of characters and a lot of options for GT heroes, for pure Saiyans, for buffing up a lot of different categories. And then in part 3, you only see two characters here. I think part 3 could easily have an EZA for this LR Super 17, which is fitting because in part 1, the characters who released in part 1 of the Golden Week celebration was these two, and Super 17 dropped in part 2. So this character getting an EZA would be a great buff for GT bosses, especially if they ended up doing something a little bit, different with his kits and actually making him somewhat viable. I'd really appreciate that. Even though he was good on release. People really hated him. He was good on release, but we're not going to talk about that. And then, of course, the Dokkan EZA could be Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. This guy is definitely old, and we've been needing an EZA for him for quite some time. And so now I think, dude, honestly, like, one of the reasons why I think GT could really get celebrations is there's so many characters that need EZAs that we could have gotten a long time ago. There's already been characters released in 2022 and 2021 have gotten EZAs, and this guy is a 2020 character. So we need to be giving this guy an EZA. And I think these two coming in part 3 would be very, very, very cool. And I mean, I don't really know what else you would ask for. You can ask for other specific EZAs or whatever the case is, but I think these two are good, honestly. And then last but not least here, I pull up these two characters. I know we already have a tick. What does tick mean, man? I know we already have a tech Nova and Ice banner unit, but I brought these two up because I really want to see a new friend summon LR. So it could be, again, Ice and Nova, or I pulled this up. I mean, I was really looking for images of the possessed Gohan, Trunks, and Goten, but like as a trio card for friend summon LR. But honestly, these 5 would be pretty. This art would go hard on a Dokkan card art, in my unprofessional opinion here. But again, I was really just looking for, Gohan in the middle, Trunks on one side, Goten on another, and then maybe like the face of Baby in the background of the card, and that could be the LR. They could be a crazy corroded body and mind support. Maybe, a crazy. You would have to consider this character GT boss. I don't know how you wouldn't, but yeah. Let me know what you think, man. So there's a free LRs here in friend summons. Whether you can pick whichever one you want. Should we get 2? Low-key, it's been so long since we haven't gotten a friend summon LR that I do think we low-key deserve 2, but it's okay. A lot of EZA characters making GT bosses and GT heroes a lot more viable and just in a better position meta-wise than what it's at now. And then, you have a lot of potentially super powerful options here for GT. So let me know what you think. Are you excited for something like this potentially? What did I forget to include? Let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Merry Christmas. Oh, Legic. How did I forget about the GOAT Legic? I don't know. Let me know how you would include Legic in here. But anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.